Hey, man, this is big for me. Not only because this guy, when he won his Cy Young Award and was playing in the postseason, it goes so way back. I was covering him on SportsCenter. That's number one. But number two, this is big daddy points for me, and I never thought I would ever say that. But I also never thought I would ever introduce Barry Zito as the unmasked rhino. But these are all true facts because my kids cannot get enough of the Masked Singer, and we're excited to see Barry Zito unmasked last night because they've been wondering who that damn rhino is. And he joins us right here now live on the Rich Eisen Show, the 2002 Cy Young Award winner and the 2012 World Series champ with the San Francisco Giants. How are you, Barry Zito?
Hey, Rich. I'm doing good, man. Yeah, kids love the show, right? It's a great show for the kids.
Are you kidding me? It's a Wednesday night fixture in my household, Barry.
Oh, dude, it's such a great concept, and the costumes are just incredible.
I know. So, how did you get hooked up with this, Barry?
Yeah, they reached out to us and just saying, hey, would you want to be interested? And I kind of, obviously, I'd seen the show, but I started digging a little deeper in the research. I was like, man, there's a lot of legit performers, people that have been singing and dancing their whole lives. And so I was a little intimidated at first, but my wife was like, you got to do this. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You're probably going to learn a lot, even though you're scared of doing all that. And
right.
So, I jumped, and I was surprised that I made it as far as I did. I mean, there were some incredible people that got voted off,
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Did you choose the rhino outfit? How does that work? Did you personally choose that one?
Yeah, they give you options. They gave me some options, and as you know, I was always kind of a little more maybe like a sensitive, kind of different artistic guy in baseball, and so it's funny. I never truly embraced who I was, being raised by musicians and all that until later in life, and so the rhino for me really represented that big, strong, intimidating guy that I always tried to be on the field, but in reality, that's not totally who I am, and so I got to kind of mix that with my more, artistic side on stage of the Masked Singer, so it was a perfect balance.
Yeah, so it was not based on your kids. How many kids do you have, Barry?
I have three.
Yeah,
three boys.
Because that was revealed last night, I guess, when you were taping this back, that you had just had a newborn. So did the kids? Was this based on Dad doing it because the kids watched the show, or that was part of it?
This was me just, music's been my passion even probably before baseball. But, for me, it was just an opportunity to do something in music that was way out of my comfort zone and, just to push myself into more and more discomfort, which for me, whenever I'm scared or afraid of something, I have to do it because
right.
I usually learn and grow as a person more than I ever would when I feel comfortable and secure,
Well, I was about to say uncomfortable, were you referring to the costume? I cannot imagine wearing a rhinoceros costume for as long as you did, Barry.
Yeah, it was discombobulating being in that costume, especially the first few weeks where you put this thing on. They don't really give you a lot of rehearsal time, and you're on stage, you're singing, you're having to do choreography, you're having to hit certain marks on stage where the cameras and the lighting are waiting for you. And then you have to sing well, and you're singing live. So, I mean, there's a lot of verticals going on for the brain at that point. So it was kind of an overload, but after a few weeks, I really started to get this sixth sense of where I was in space, even though I couldn't really see out of that thing.
So there's no second takes. That's so it's live on tape. You get one shot at it. That's it, and that's
yeah, live studio audience. You're singing legit in the mic. Some people have microphones built into their mask, but
okay.
You're legitimately singing in that moment, and so you screw up, it's not going to be pretty.
Barry Zito here on the Rich Eisen Show. Now, again, you've said that you're a music guy, maybe even before a pitcher, and you did have an EP that you put out called No Secrets in 2017, and your Twitter and Instagram feeds are at Barry Zito Music. All that said, Ken Jeong nailed it last night. So did Jenny McCarthy, and we'll get into that in a second. But Robin Thicke, who is a legit singer, thought you were Trace Adkins, and Nicole Scherzinger, who's a legit performer, thought you were Jason Aldean. Now, Barry, those are some serious music names they thought you were. Yeah,
no, that was super flattering, right?
That's amazing.
To get I think someone even threw out Lionel Richie at one point, and I was like, "Oh, come on! Like, that's amazing, right?" So I'm inside them Rhino Mask like fist pumping, while they're saying that. But yeah, I mean, I was glad that I kind of threw him off the trail for a while. I think at one point Jenny kind of stood up and she had it all figured out, which was shocking to me. I guess, and I think Jenny's like a huge baseball fan too, and she follows the game pretty close. And but I was pretty excited to have these country singer names thrown at me. At least that meant I was doing something right, I guess.
It was really great, and my kids loved it, and it was a lot of fun watching on Wednesday night. I got Barry Zito, the recently unmasked singer on The Masked Singer, made it all the way to the semifinals last night, currently now here on The Rich Eisen Show. Let's talk a little bit about, who did you hear? Did you hear from any of your old teammates once you got unmasked in the last 24 hours?
I did, yeah. Who was it? The first one that texted me, I think, was Matt Cain, who I pitched with the Giants.
Yes.
So Matt was like, he's like, dude, he's like, come on. He's like, are you the Rhino? And I was like, oh, no, man, that's crazy. Someone else just said that. What is that show? Anyways, I've never seen that show. I heard it's good. I'm trying to play dumb and don't want to get in trouble with the attorneys. They keep it on lockdown over there at the Masked Singer. So.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Like we couldn't promote you for the last 3 days, and I actually, my kids think the world of that show. As I mentioned, I actually tried to snake some cash off my child, my 11-year-old, last night, who tried to take some money off me if you were really Jason Aldean underneath, and I'm like, well, if Ken Jeong's right, do I get the $10 you want? I actually used that last night, Barry, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed.
I love that. You gotta leverage that.
Okay, good. So we're both fathers of the year right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's go down a little bit of so Bruce Bochy didn't reach out to you, say that's you as the Rhino. Is basically what you're saying.
No, Boach didn't. Boach actually just texted me today though, and it's always great hearing from Boach, man.
What's that about?
So he texted me. He just said, "Hey man, saw you did good. I got to do my Boach impression. Hey man, you did great on the game, man. Great job, Z."
So he's watching The Masked Singer? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently, Bruce Bochy is a Masked Singer guy.
That reeks of grandchildren, Barry. That's what that reeks of to me. Grandchildren.
It really does. You're right.
For sure. So
that's great.
Let's go down memory lane a little bit here, Barry. The best game you ever pitched would be what? What's the best game you ever pitched?
Hands down, 2012 NLCS Game 5 in St. Louis, elimination game. But I think just 6 years of poor performance with the Giants after a huge contract and able to come through and kind of help save the series and then get back to the World Series there where we won. But that game for sure was my career game for me.
Why is that? Other than just obviously the stakes, but why would that be?
I just really tried to validate and, I tried to prove that I was worth the money for a lot of years, and I went through a lot of spiritual battles and spiritual journeys, and I recently just kind of finished this in a book, so it's fresh in my head. But for me, it was like I signed this contract. I tried to overperform, throw a shutout every game. And so finally, by that point of 6 years, I finally realized, like, man, just be who you are, even if it's 85 and a curveball and a changeup. Just do that and see what happens instead of psyching yourself out. So I was able to do that, and even laid down a bunt and got a ribby. I mean, it was a magical game for me. But it just helped kind of deliver what I always wanted to deliver to the fans of San Francisco for bringing me over there. Which was help win a World Series.
It's amazing to hear too, Barry, because what's the mental aspect of pitching? I mean, really, we're clearly you've mentioned a couple times about what goes on between your temples and how much that must be so difficult. But it just looked so many times that you were in such great command. Certainly in that postseason, a 1.69 ERA in that postseason. I remember obviously the A's Yankees games that used to be must-see television back in the early aughts when you were a Cy Young winner. What is it about the mental aspect of this game that's so difficult?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a team sport, but in a lot of ways, it's an individual sport. Because it's pitcher versus batter. It's almost like a tennis match. I mean, you're just staring down, 60, 80 feet away, and you're staring at your opponent. And so, I think it's like a lot of things in life, Rich, which is, do I trust myself or not? And so, pitching is I trust, I may not trust that I can strike this guy out because I can't guarantee that. I can't control that. But if I try to dominate the things I can control, which is, time up my delivery and release this pitch, and commit to the pitch 100%, then that's good enough for me. And so I always had my biggest success when I could say, I might get my butt kicked today, but at least I'm going to, promise that I'm going to do my best on every single pitch. And that is something I can control. And so when I could get into that headspace, man, the results were always pretty darn good. But when I was trying to prove to the world that I could, win a game or strike this guy out or, be the man, did not go well.
Barry Zito here on the Rich Eisen Show. And again, I know you're out of the game, but I don't know how much you're into what is going on in the game right now. And some comments that were made by a fellow Cy Young Award winner, Blake Snell, just last night on his Twitch feed about wanting to be paid every dime that he should be paid because of COVID-19 about playing. Again, Barry, I know that we got you on to talk about Masked Singer and some other things down memory lane, but I'm wondering what your thoughts are about a player saying that he wants to be fully paid in full to run the risk of playing baseball this year.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm not totally schooled, but I mean just getting some info from you here,
right.
It's a real tricky situation, right? We don't want to put anyone's health at risk. And, I will say that everyone is making sacrifices right now. And there's a lot of people that are in precarious situations and sacrificing their family and children that are a lot less stable financially, than possibly major league players. So I just feel like we have to see this thing with a perspective and really get outside of ourselves, and just be totally honest about how good or bad we actually do have it.
And obviously, again, you're somebody with how old are your three kids right now, Barry? How old are they?
5, 2, and about 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, you're in it. So, I mean, if this was your situation when you were playing, it would be difficult for you to quarantine, I imagine, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it would. I mean, people have families and children at home. It's just that balance of, we got the economy and kind of the life that we're all trying to get back to, and then we have, the health scare. It's incredibly difficult on all sides. I mean, the American government as well. I mean, they're just second guessed on every step they do. It's not easy for anybody right now.
Barry Zito here on the Rich Eisen Show. A few more minutes left with you. Okay, so let's go down a little bit more memory lane. The one batter that you faced where you were like, okay, I think I got this guy. Who's the one guy you were most confident against? Do you remember?
Gosh, I mean, I would say because me and A-Rod really squared up a lot early in my career. He was in Texas, I was in Oakland, and for whatever reason, I had good success against Alex, and then, when he went over to New York, he got me a couple times. I remember he hit a grand slam off me. I think it was opening day in Oakland, might have been 05 or 06, but he got me on that grand slam, and I remember he hit that, and he kind of looked at me because we were friends, and he was like, yeah, he's like, been waiting for that one for a minute. So, but, yeah, it's funny like that in the game. You have success against some guys, and other guys just completely take you deep every other at bat. I mean, a guy like Jerry Hairston.
That was about that would be my question. So Jerry Hairston was a guy that you just couldn't get out. That's who it was.
Man, Jerry Hairston just owned me. Gosh, he owned me, and then. Yeah, who else? I would say any backup catcher that was like getting their first start in 10 days, that guy was guaranteed to hit a homer off me. It was just, I don't know what it was about backup catchers, but they would always just take me deep.
My EP just got in my ear. Don Bowie, you mentioned the word Placido Polanco also.
Thank you for that reminder.
Sorry about that.
Oh, Placido Polanco, dude, come on. That guy, I mean, he was legit, though. That guy could find the barrel no matter what, fastball, off speed, off the plate, in, out, up, down. I mean, he was incredible. So, yeah, Placido, he was one of my nemesis for sure.
For sure. All right, last one for you, Barry. Was Jeremy Giambi safe?
Oh, wow. I think he was safe. I actually do. I really do. And I know a lot of people were upset that Jeremy didn't slide in that 2001. What was it, ALDS?
Yep, the flip play. It was Mike Messina got a 1-0 lead because one of the few mistakes I guess you made, or was that a good pitch that that Posada took you deep on for the only run of that game.
It was like 3 feet over the wall. I mean, literally just 3 feet. But no, I mean, there was a lot of controversy. Why didn't Jeremy slide? But at the end of the day, dude, Jeremy came around third, probably looked, saw Shane Spencer throw the ball in from right field, saw that the ball was going to go over the cutoff man's head. And the last thing he ever expected is the friggin' shortstop was going to be over there on the first base line. So I think most guys would have done the exact same thing because Derek Jeter should have never been on the first base line.
Never. I mean, and then he flips it, and so you think, again, Jeremy got in his foot down before the tag was applied?
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
And where were you?
I'm talking millimeters, you know what I mean? But I do.
You had a good look, too, right, from the dugout? You had a good look. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of foul territory in Oakland, so we were pretty far. So I don't know if you can trust my opinion, but and maybe I'm a little biased.
No, I understand that. I totally understand that. I completely would understand that. But there is a lot of, you're right. You could fit like a par 3 golf hole on the foul territory in Oakland.
Oh yeah. No, that place is a pitcher's dream, man.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, look, Barry, congrats on getting as far as you did in The Masked Singer. It'll be something, for you to show all your kids for years from now, man. What a blast. What a blast. Thanks for coming on and sharing the time.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Rich.
You got it. That's Barry Zito, the Rhino. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.